What is up, Big Bear Nation? Man, I'm so glad to see each and every one of you here tonight to join us for our live stream. So this is a time where Jason and I are usually behind the scenes. We're turning lights on, I'm brushing my teeth, fixing my hair, getting ready for a great show tonight. So while we're doing that, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about one of our sponsors, actually one of our very first sponsors, Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. They have been with us for a very long time. We absolutely love the staff there. We've been to Baker Creek to actually see their facilities in Missouri. It's absolutely beautiful. Each year they put out a beautiful catalog, and this year, beautiful okra on the front. We've actually grown this okra, very tasty. But they also put out a whole seed catalog. This year's catalog is 500 pages. So I've kind of been going through this, of course, right? And I've picked out all of my seeds. Now, one thing I want to tell you, right now, because of all of the different health and safety issues that are going on, they will, every once in a while, you may find that they shut down their site just to be able to clean up their facility and actually catch up on orders, because right now everybody's ordering seed. So I encourage you to check out their website. If for some reason you see that it's down, be patient. It will definitely be worth it. I know I went on their website today, and I believe they'll be down until Wednesday. In the meantime, we have this whole seed catalog. We actually have one that we're going to give away today on our live stream. So I'm really excited to do that. Let me tell you another really cool thing that I love about Baker Creek. All of this stuff that you see behind us, we have been able to grow all of our food that we've been consuming from seed that we got through Baker Creek. Brussels sprouts, there's cabbage in the background, there's peas. We have so many different things, broccoli, cauliflower, and we wouldn't be able to do it without Baker Creek. So I encourage you to definitely check them out. They have a great germination rate. I think that's actually been one of the things that I love. I have like a love-hate relationship with them, is I love that their germination rate is so great, but because it's so great, I end up having to do a lot of thinning, especially with things like radishes and carrots and things like that. Their seed catalog this year, y'all, it is absolutely beautiful. There are some wonderful articles about some of the origins of the different seeds that they have, where they're getting them from, who's growing them. So definitely check that out. If you haven't gotten your whole seed catalog, definitely sign up. I do believe they actually have them in some of the bookstores. I believe I saw one in Sam's. So you really need to check out this catalog. If nothing else, I'll tell you, this is the second whole seed catalog that we've had, and we actually saved them because just the artwork, the photography, some of the information. Like one of the things I'm doing this year, I know I've told everybody before, last year I grew 4 eggplants, and one of those eggplants was an orange, a Turkish orange, and it was good, it was okay. I learned I could grow orange eggplant. I grew another one that was like a Rosa Bianca or something. It was a white, and that had a little purple blush, color to it. But I have found that I'm absolutely in love with the very long and thin eggplants. And this year, they have this new one. It's called the Chinese string. And you better believe that I've already ordered it, and I am so excited to get those seeds started. I know it is so hard right now. It's January and everybody wants to put seed in the ground. If you just have to do that and your area will support it, at least here we can start some brassicas inside. So not necessarily Brussels sprouts, they take a really long time to grow, But we're definitely going to get some cabbage and some broccoli and some cauliflower going. And you better believe it's going to be Baker Creek seeds. So I think it's about time for us to start the show. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all, and we will see you in just a moment.
Pew pew pew. Pew 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 pew. Pewdy pew pew pew.
What is up, Big Bear Nation?
You're kind of like pew 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 pew.
I am. I'm like channeling my inner Big Bear hillbilly today.
Big Bear hillbilly.
That is. I'm gonna hashtag it. Big Bear hillbilly. Crystal's got Crush It Like Crystal. I'm gonna be hillbilly Big Bear.
Let's not let that one stick. I really don't want that one to stick. I got a bad feeling it's gonna stick now. Speaking of Crystal, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we have made some changes in the Big Bear Nation Facebook group.
Yes.
And Crystal, Mama Z, Deanna, and I think Sherry from Two Family, they're all moderators in the Big Bear Nation now. And each one of them has a specific job to do.
There it is.
In there. And Crystal's job is to do our sponsor highlight in there. And she's done an amazing job with the sponsor highlights. If you have not seen those, please go check them out. Because she did one for LogOx. And she says, you may not be as strong as Big Bear. And I was like, yeah!
Yeah, no, I absolutely love, you can tell that she is in marketing. Because she definitely knows how to grab your attention and kind of keep it there. Just even if it's just for a second. Yeah. She definitely, will command your attention. So.
Yeah. So Mama Z, Copper Kettle Farms, Naturally NC, and Two Family, they're moderators. Also, not only are they moderators here in the chat, but they are also moderators in the Big Bear Nation Facebook group. So, if y'all don't mind, go ahead and give those guys the old... Go check out the channel. Give them a round of applause. Tell them thank you very much. We appreciate what they do.
Look
going on, Stivers.
Look at that.
Look what the goat drug is.
The goat drug is. Hello.
It's the Stivers, a.k.a. never play, win, lose, or draw with them. Especially if Zach is drawing.
Okay. Mama Mitzi, what's up? So we have a lot of people in here. The chat's kind of been going, so it's kind of hard to call out everybody. But welcome, everyone.
I know it have been. Hello, cold.
Yeah. Okay. So, does anybody remember me last year? See, this is what the problem is. Yeah, last year I was bragging about how last year's growing season during the winter was amazing, and I got to grow all this stuff. And so this year, God was like, "You need to take a break."
Grow in the cold.
We have had more frost days.
Is it frost when does it stop becoming frost and goes to being a layer of ice?
We've had it so bad, y'all, that it looks like there's snow on the ground. Like, it is so thick of a frost that it literally looks like a dusting of snow. Absolutely crazy. So, we've had more frost nights, days, whatever you want to call them, probably just in the last 4 weeks than we had all last season last year. And it was absolutely, it was crazy. So,
call me, Zach.
So ready to put stuff in the dirt. So that's what I was talking about in the video real quick, that intro video, is it is so hard right now to not want to put stuff in the ground. Like, to not want to plant stuff. It's too early, y'all. It's too early for some stuff.
Well, you can start stuff inside.
Right. But even I'm just going to say this because I know Jess has preached it, but I'm going to say it again. Don't. I really don't need that encouragement. Dutch. I really don't need that. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. But right now, it's really, at least in our area, we can't start what? It's still behind, I think. Oh, maybe it's not behind. What happened?
Where did Dancing Bear
Where's
go?
our dancing bear?
There it is!
That's so weird. We were both like, where'd it go?
Where did the bear go?
So, what was I saying? Tomatoes, peppers, all that stuff. Now, I know there are a couple of y'all. I know Anna, she sells her seedlings for people to start their plants and stuff and to have starts. And so she starts a little bit earlier. And, of course, she's a little bit different of a zone than us. But for the most part, planting, like starting your peppers, tomatoes, stuff like eggplant, it's still a little early. And I'll say at least from here, after seeing the weather that we've had over the last couple of weeks, I'm like, I might trust the old folklore of not planting until Good Friday. Because with the amount of frost that we've had, it's just, I don't want to lose anything, and I really don't want... I really don't want to start all these seedlings and then have them get root bound or have to constantly try to pot them up to kind of keep up with everything. So, what did he say? Ouch, glad I'm not here.
I don't know. He probably dropped his milk.
Oh. So I was a little jealous. April this morning posted that she had snow. And even Dee had a little bit of snow. I'm like,
it's them stupid guide stones.
We didn't get any snow.
It's the guide stones.
Ugh.
Super bad thunderstorms. They'll let you get struck by lightning every now and then, but they won't let snow come.
No snow.
They won't let tornadoes come, which I'm kind of thankful for that one.
Yeah, we definitely, like, it seems like tornadoes just go whoop, go right around us. So
it's like, from the guide stones this way, no tornadoes. It'll hug that line, though. There's something spooky about those things.
Yeah. So,
it's like that old pillar in Augusta. You remember that? The haunted pillar in downtown Augusta?
Yeah.
If
crazy.
you went up there and kicked it, pushed it, tried to take a chip out of it, something bad would happen to you. And a lot of folks, there was people dying.
There was literally the last person that took it out
died.
It was a really bad accident, ripped it down, and like...
And the folklore wasn't it a pillar from where they like beat slaves or sold slaves or something like that? And so
it was a whipping post.
Yeah.
It was an old whipping post in downtown Augusta. And yeah. So what are we going to talk about tonight?
I don't know, library. You're the one with the plethora of books over there. She told me before, I really don't need you to talk tonight. I think you should just be my arm candy and just nod every now and then.
Okay, stop for a second. Look at who is in the chat. Mr. I don't think I'm going to make it another year. I'm going to call him out. Woody, what is up? I was looking, I'm going to tell you.
Wait a minute.
Today,
how many emails have you sent him and he hasn't answered?
I haven't.
Oh,
I haven't. Because I thought, to be quite honest, Woody was pretty sure he was not going to make it through the year. So when I didn't hear from him, and I knew he didn't really have any family that would knew to get in contact with me, just figured he had gone on to the next chapter. And so...
Wow. You wrote, I hope you don't write me off
I was
that fast.
literally, Woody, let me tell you, I was literally looking at my Facebook today because Jason was like, you probably need to go in and thin out your friends, just the ones that we don't really talk to, we don't really know. There's a lot that have probably come and gone that, people are deactivating their Facebook and this, that, and the other. And I had scrolled through and I saw your name and I checked your Facebook and there still had not been any activity and I was about to delete it and I left it. And I left it, and I'm so glad I left it. Even if you're not using it, it was like I was channeling. Anyway, I'm really glad he's here. If y'all can't tell.
Back to what I was saying, Robin was like, so you just don't talk tonight. Just be there, be my arm candy, nod every now and then, but don't be interrupting like you like to do, and don't say all kinds of crazy stuff and interrupt me and get things sideways. So I got my wonderful mug, handcrafted mug, with my hot herbal tea, and I'm going to be arm candy.
Herbal tea.
So.
That's so not true. That is not how that happened.
Me and the herb Jameson.
So Donna Duquette said, Good Friday, gracious. I can't even think about planning until at least Memorial Day. So that is one thing that we're pretty fortunate, is to have a pretty long growing season. And we were talking about starting seedlings. Now that is one thing. Here pretty soon we will start. The very first thing we will start is eggplant. And so I wanted to talk about our seed haul. So the thing that our commercial that we did was for Baker Creek, and I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit more about that. So why are you still talking? I love me some tea. So I went through. What's up? Thank you, all the things Acres. Awesome. I went through the catalog, as we all are, I'm sure, right now. And I went to type in a few things on the website to check them out, and I did notice that they are down to take a deep breath. One thing that they had posted, y'all, is that their sales from January this year versus January last year, it's 5 times the amount. And we've been there. Jason and I went and visited there, and they have a very intricate setup of how they fill orders, how they receive them in, and how they fill them. And so I imagine it says that they're keeping their operation going 24 hours a day. And I can see that, because what they're probably doing is, instead of having 2 or 3 people filling orders at a time, they may only have one person just running around and filling orders and running everything through, and then one, so they can keep everybody socially distanced, keep them safe. But then they're also having to clean their workspaces. They're having to keep everything clean and sanitary, and then they're having to restock all their seed. Because one of the things that we got to see was where they actually had a big vat of seed, and then they put all of the seed packets, all the paper packets, put them in there, pour it in, and it counts out the seeds and puts the label on it and sends them down. So they're not just getting all of these already prepackaged. They literally are pulling out a jug of seed and putting it into a seed counter that then puts it into the seed packets and then everything, and then they have to put those in to be able to stock. So this is a very intricate process. And so I just ask that y'all, if you haven't found anything that you wanted from them because it's been out of stock or the website's down, just be patient. Because I had a girl last week that had posted in one of the groups. She was looking for heavy hitter okra. And I had previously gone and looked for it. It wasn't there. And then 2 days later, it was there. And so I told her, just keep checking back. Well, you know me, I like to meddle. So every couple of days, I was checking every morning, checking to see if it was there. And I found it on Friday morning, and I messaged her, and I was like, hurry up, get over there and order those seeds. She was like, oh, thank you so much. So... So, of all the seeds that I've ordered so far, what's the one? Are there any that you were interested in getting, or is there anything that have you even looked at the seed catalog?
That's so cute. That's so cute.
Here, baby. Oh,
That's
wait, I can't give you this one. This one is sealed up. What are we going to do with this sealed up?
That's for the giveaway.
Okay, well, why don't we take a break for a second and you can talk about that.
Oh. Woohoo.
Goldshaw, what's up? Woo. Hello.
Okay, well, let me talk while we got the intermission going on and I'm allowed to speak tonight and I'm not just arm candy.
You flatter yourself. It's so cute.
It's so cute. She's like, have you seen the seed catalog? That's so funny. That's funny.
I just blew tea up in my face. You made me laugh so hard it went down in the cup and back up.
Please. The moment that thing came in, the girls were like, Mom, your seed catalog came in. I don't even know where she came from. I was like out of the wall. She was like, and I really haven't seen it since. I didn't even know where the giveaway was one. I didn't even know where that one was at. So we held a competition. It lasted longer than it was supposed to. Excuse me. But if you were on our email list, you shouldn't. As long as you didn't unsubscribe. Calling you all out. You know who you are. Once you hit the unsubscribe button. You got the
Hey, Ricky.
the contest. What you were supposed to do, and what they were supposed to do is they were supposed to go and share some videos on their different social media platforms. And we had like a whole whopping 3 people that actually followed the directions and did it. And so Robin and I put those 3 names into a hat and we pulled it. And the winner is... No, you gotta keep going.
Why?
Because I'm still drinking my tea.
No. It hurts my hands when I do that. My hands have been hurting today. April
Hill. Dun, dun, dun. You get the whopping 500 some odd
500
page thing, catalog thing. This is the only time I'm going to get to touch this whole seed catalog. She even hides it when she's at work. Why? I don't know. Just happens that way. She just puts it in her place and da-da-da-da-da. City Girl, you must have either unsubscribed or marked it as junk or something.
We're going to do an overhaul again of emails. So if everybody that hasn't been getting emails wants us to add you to the email list, send us an email this, like, tonight, and then I will update it tomorrow so that when we start to send everything out, we'll have it, so that everybody... I'll send out a test email, like, Monday and see if everybody gets it, and then we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah. But congratulations, April. And believe it or not, y'all, April really earned this even a little bit more. Not just because she's one of our awesome moderators in the chat, but we had a small get-together here a couple of years ago, and Apollo, God rest his soul, decided to bring April in to be part of the family.
Very much part of the family.
And so he decided to lay at April's feet. And he decided to pass gas. And April was like a boss. She didn't even say anything until Robin was like, Apollo. Yeah.
And we didn't send an email out tonight. We were running late behind, so we didn't send one out tonight. Yeah. So you might still be subscribed. Is Baker Creek the only place you order seeds from? Yes. It is the only place we order seeds from.
And the reason why is we absolutely just love them. They were one of our very first sponsors. Huh. And when we went up there to see their operation and how they do things and the character of the company, we were hooked. And I'm just one of those type of people that I feel that they want to help us grow and help sponsor us and help us teach everybody how to be more sustainable. And the character of that company is just phenomenal, and I want to support that. Mm-hmm. And that's just the kind of guy I am.
We're definitely very loyal people. We're definitely that kind of, and they were one of the very first ones. Like I think it was LogOx and then them, mm-hmm. and they were kind of like, absolutely, whatever you want to plan, we're behind you 100%. Yep. And they've never wavered in that at all.
At all.
And if I ask for something, I get. Information. Like if I'm having a problem with something. Jessica will reach out to her horticulturalist or whoever it is and find out for me. Like I'm trying this year, and I know Deanna, we were talking about this. We're going to try and grow rice this year, see how it goes. And she's trying to grow the same stuff, the Carolina Gold or whatever it is. And I was asking, I said, well, this says Carolina Gold. Like, where's the seed harvested? Because I know they get other people to plant the seed and grow it and harvest it. So I was curious as to like what were the, what did they actually do? Like where did they grow it? And come to find out, it's all around here. It's North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. So
wait a minute, this is my nodding part.
So we know that we can grow it here, and it doesn't have to be in rice paddies. It can be in fields. So I'm excited about that. So yeah. So very quickly, and I always butcher their name, but I think it's Wakatamika Acres. Is that the name of their
Homestead?
Yeah.
What are you going?
Where is it at?
They're right there.
Oh, right there. Well, yeah, Wakatamika, I think, is right. Homestead. That's Jeremy and Gisela, I think. I always butcher her name.
Look, I can't even remember my kid's name sometimes.
But I'm going to tell you, awesome people. We met them when we were up in Ohio, and didn't know us from Adam. We didn't know them, but we kind of hit it off. He handed us like a ton of seed for sorghum,
which we will be planting this year.
And I started to notice that he was posting stuff about doing a prosciutto ham. So I reached out to him because we were supposed to start butchering today. We didn't get a chance to.
He made a cold room.
Yeah, and so we'll get to that in a second.
Oh, sorry.
You're talking. You're not supposed to be talking. So he did a prosciutto ham last year. And so I've been watching, like stalking his Facebook over the last year, watching to see how this is progressing. Because he'll put out a picture every once in a while. And they just sliced some up the other night. And I saw all the rave reviews about how great it was. And so when we went to start talking about doing it this morning, he said, so I need you to make sure that we have everything we need for the prosciutto. And I said, oh, let me hit up Jeremy real quick. So I'm like messaging him at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, what all do we need and how do I do this? And he was so gracious, y'all. He gave me a laundry list of all the things that I needed to do. And then told me if there was anything that I needed, give him a call, text him, whatever. They'd be more than happy to help. And so I was really, really grateful for that. So, breakaway! What's up?
Calm down here.
So anyway, so we will be cutting them up here pretty soon. Just don't know when. What are we thinking now, Daddy? When are we gonna?
Well, if the wind is gone tomorrow, unlike it was today, because see, when we scald our hogs, we do it with we have a fire underneath a barrel. Mm-hmm. The wind was horrific.
Yeah, it was really bad today.
And so that was like no bueno on having a fire outside. Mm-hmm. So if the wind is gone tomorrow, we're gonna light it up. But if not, the first week in February, right? Didn't you look it up? Anyway, at our very next cold snap, we were getting some major wind.
If you paid attention in my video at the beginning, like you can see the trees in the background just. Yeah. It was pretty bad.
How'd that go again? Okay. I just wanted to check. I don't know what. I didn't see any trees doing like Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off.
They were. Look at them in the background. They're like swirling.
Somebody was giving a tree a swirly, huh?
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So. Oh.
Yeah, so.
We're under a burn ban because of the wind. I believe it. That was another reason why we didn't, because you just don't want to take that chance that, with the wind blowing the way that it is, you just don't want that to happen
No,
either.
because we have, it's a double-edged sword. Fire comes up. Burns out the areas that I want to clear,
Burns
this
the house
side.
down.
What's in front? Just saying.
That's so funny. So, let's talk a little bit about City Hall. There goes your catalog, April. Sorry.
She just disrespected your gift paper.
So, there's a lot in there. Didn't you see all that? There's like several packets in there.
I don't even know why you're playing.
This is just the first one. I ordered a second one because...
Now, wait a minute. Time out. I can't be quiet on. Okay. Y'all know the Naked Gardener channel, right? Okay. The Naked Gardener channel came out and did an intensive interview with us. And they put up just an awesome video. But I distinctly remember. I know.
Hey, Shayla.
I know. I distinctly remember.
You stinkly or distinctly?
I remember. Mm-hmm. Oh, don't be trying to pick apart my grammar because you know what I'm fitting to say.
Well, you're saying stinkly. I'm like, what did I do?
Well, I mean, Sydney was there. I remember somebody saying, I'm not going to buy like 5,000 seeds this year. I'm not going to plant 500 tomatoes.
I'm not going to plant 500 tomatoes. There are no tomatoes in there.
Nope. Seriously?
Yeah. What?
Our whole front yard is going to be this because of Sydney.
But that's not the right kind. That's a different kind. I think there's another one in here too. I can't remember. I feel like there's another one. So this is the really funny part. Okay. So first of all,
wait a minute.
No, we'll do that in a second.
Wait, hold on. No.
Wait,
One,
no,
two,
that's not even
three.
it. There's like 7 of them.
7.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6.
Oh, see, there's another marigold. There's another one. Where'd it go? There's 7 total. Oh, we're gonna have to hurt somebody. Oh, there it is. There you go.
7. We couldn't keep up with 2 plants last year.
No, there was 4 plants last year.
Okay, either way, 4 is still a lot less than 7. And you got 7?
New ones. I still have seed from the old ones.
So that's going to be 11. We couldn't keep up with 4.
I can't help it. So, okay. So, any of y'all that watched our videos last year, last year now, we discovered...
I'm starting a new channel.
We discovered eggplant chips.
It's going to be...
Eggplant chips. So, we love the little fingers or whatever they were called eggplant because they grew kind of, long and slender and they weren't real thick. They were just kind of chip size, right? So now I am fascinated with all eggplant that grows like that. So there's the Nagasaki long.
Nagasaki. Mr. Miyagi is rolling over
Casper.
in his grave how you're pronouncing
Because
this.
they're white and most eggplant is purple. So I like to grow something different.
That's racist.
Yep. Well, now I'm going to just skip and go to something else because that would look really bad. Okay, the next one.
Yes, Gold Shawl. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Homestead hoarders. Satsuma long. These are more of a green one, so I'm excited about those. Antigua. So these are also, they're kind of pretty, but they're also the same.
We've got this one.
No, we don't. I had Ladessa check before.
You trusted.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same girl that goes looking for her box that has her money in it, and she walks past it 7 times.
I don't care. I get seats. What are you talking about? Okay, Ping Tongue. So that's one right there. Then there's the Real Black, and they're really, really dark. So I'm really looking forward to these because they have that anthocyanin, I think is what it is, or anthocyanin. I
am so glad Sydney's not in there right now.
And then this is the one that I was talking about in the commercial. The Chinese string. So I'm really looking forward to eggplant season this year. So my goal is to have enough eggplant for the year to be able to do those chips, to have a bunch stored up so that we have grab and go snacks for being able to have those out while we're out, doing what we're doing. So eggplant, definitely a focus. Another goal of mine this year was to do more flowers. I grew marigolds this past year, and I did echinacea, which the echinacea.
You did really good with the echinacea.
They were beautiful. Those coneflowers were really, really pretty. Hello, Green Dream. What's up? And the marigolds were very late bloomers, but they came out in force and
GDP.
They turned out really well. So I saw a couple more marigold.
Okay, now this is just utterly disgusting right now, okay? Right here, these two. You know why this is so disgusting to me? Because it wasn't 2 months ago, 3 months ago, the last time Sydney was here. And he was grabbing the buds off of her marigold plants, and he was just walking through the garden.
Everywhere.
And
all over.
Just dropping them everywhere.
He was what you call deadheading. He was basically taking the heads off and just spraying them around. And then I noticed today that the ones that had died back, all of those seeds have dumped down into the containers. So all of those had deadheaded, just reseeded themselves. So those are going to be...
And so I'm going to have marigolds.
Everywhere.
And I was planning on trying to overseed with some Bermuda grass.
Oh, you don't need to overseed with nothing. We've overseeded with marigolds. We're not... I mean, they're not going to come up. I mean, they get trotted on so much. I don't think they'll do anything.
Well, I want to probably March, April. I want to overseed that area heavily with Bermuda grass because what we do in that area, if you've
Teresa
watched any of the vlogs or anything, Robin has our whole front yard is nothing but raised beds. Now, it's like a game of Mario Brothers.
It really is.
Pac-Man trying to cut that grass. But I use that grass and I'll put it in her. How do you say your stupid kitchen chickens?
Chickens.
It's basically
my kitchen chickens.
Her coop. She wanted some chickens in a coop to be able. That's the eggs that she was going to cook with. Mm-hmm. Because we're going to sell the other eggs, so that's the eggs that she's going to cook with. Those are the only eggs. And so, what I like to do is I make those chickens work for me. And I learned this by way back in the day watching Back to Eden, the Back to Eden movie, and where he takes grass clippings and stuff and he'll throw it in with his chickens, and they will scratch it in, eat some of the bugs and stuff out of it, but then they just basically turn it into compost. They just turn it over, and then he goes in a couple of times a year, and he'll just scoop up the top layer, run it through a sifter back and forth, and then he uses that to top dress.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that I use that for. That's all we did last year. We had chickens in there, and then we had to put the turkeys in there because we were starting to get some aerial predators, and I didn't really want to risk those because I'm really wanting these turkeys to breed, and so they got to the big.
They're getting really
He started
pretty.
gobbling.
Yeah. Oh, did he?
Yes.
I haven't heard that yet. But
Yes.
I walked by him today, and he is just like strutting. I was like, yeah, I love it. The one thing, though, that I thought was really, like, we've been doing that. Well, now that it's gotten into the winter, when Sydney and Tori were here, I noticed, because we went in there, man, there's like, it's nice. We'll be able to go in there in the spring and just scoop all that out.
Yep. And the same thing with first oink and first moo. Mm-hmm. What we do is, like, when because we have if you're close by and you want a pig, we have piglets for sale. Mm-hmm. They're ready to go. When Leia comes out of there, we're gonna go in there and we're gonna scoop out all of that mud and muck and everything, all that pig mud, and we're gonna put it on what's going to be our no-till garden.
Right.
Well, see, it's not just pig feces and wood chips that are in that mixture. Because we've been taking, as we go around, and like I cut the grass in the grapevines, around the strawberry beds, around the raspberries, all of that. I take that and I dump that in there with her.
Right.
And so when she was in there being all prego and just fat, and she would go in there and she'd nibble on a little bit of it, but she would stomp it down in there.
Until it, constantly
turning it. So I'm really excited about that. And because, see, I make my animals work for a living. The more they do, the less I got to do.
That's exactly right.
And so that's just one of the things. And then, same way with the scraps that come from the garden. You feed that to the whoever, whether it's Pinky or Leia in first oink, or if we got when we had a cow to be able to put in first moo.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, we lost our family milk cow last week. Still just
kind of take a deep breath from it. We gotta just kind of start putting our feelers out to be able to see what we can find. So
yeah. Also, Jason, I need to talk to you about solar chargers. I want to do solar powered, but they are all weak
compared to plug-in.
Man, I already told you about Gallagher. We talked about Gallagher. Gallagher's, the S100 knocked me on my butt. It happened at a time that I did not have a camera, so I wasn't, like Morgan and get zapped in the head. I literally just wasn't paying attention, and I don't know what I was thinking. I just reached out to grab something. As I was reaching to turn off the fence, it was like my brain was 12 steps ahead. And so my brain was already had the charger turned off. Mm-hmm. And so I was reaching to unplug or to undo the connectors. Yep. Right on my backside I went.
So the Gallagher chargers are pretty definitely strong. Yeah. So have we checked with VW Family? They're way too far for us to be able to haul a cow.
Yeah.
They're like 12 hours from us, so that would be a really long, stressful trip for just one cow.
Yeah. I know Naturally NC has a hookup up there where she's at. She's about 3 or 4 hours away, and so at the end of the day, Jonathan, there's nothing that compares to hardwire. I mean, you can't. You're getting a direct. When it comes to your joules, your plugins are always going to have more joules than your solars.
Yeah.
But we'll talk on Polo.
Yeah.
And I'll try to figure out what you're doing and try to figure, because if you're pulling extension cords, you're losing joules anyway through the resistance through the extension cords.
Yeah.
So you may be level with, what did you put on my computer?
I have done nothing.
With the solar charger ones, especially from Gallagher.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Gallagher stuff, y'all, we've been in this business for a while. And we've done the Tractor Supply, solar charger, I know I'm talking too much, huh?
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, real quick, I'll bring you back to where you were. I was just looking through, Facebook sends you all these memories and stuff, and I got a memory yesterday of Carol holding one of the little piglets, and I was like, wow, and Dee even mentioned in there, she's like, wow, even back then, like, it was 11 years ago. And then today's memory, because I must have posted like 2 days in a row, was us milking the cow. And I was like, gosh, we have been doing this for over a decade. Mm-hmm. And it's on Facebook, so it's got to be true.
Yeah. Goldschall said one time he got hit in the no-no square. We had a friend who was a doctor who decided...
he was lazy.
I'm not turning off my charger.
He was
I'm
lazy.
just going to step on over it because they're guinea hogs and I ain't got to worry about it.
Yep.
He was a short fella.
Yep. He is a short... Yeah, he still
he's
is.
Still a short
very
fella.
much a short fella.
And Defense was taller than he thought.
His crotch area.
And when he tried to do a little scissor kick over it, he didn't send the message to the no-no square.
He said it was so bad it made him throw up.
It made him throw up, and he said he laid there for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And he was by himself. His wife was off at work, and he was just doing the morning chores because he worked from home, even back then. And it was like, he said it was bad. Now, he didn't have solar. They had it hooked up. Like, it was a direct line, so it was pretty bad.
Now, before some of y'all, I just now thought about it with the way I'm picking up my cups. Robin and I are fine. We're not fighting. We're not getting a divorce because I don't have a wedding band on. It broke.
Oh. I was like, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
It broke.
Oh, my God, that's funny. My hubby said that's why they're called testicles. You test the electric fence with them.
I think I might have, and I don't know for sure, but I think how it got the cut in it is I might have got a little too close to the table saw.
Oh, that's no bueno. So, Teresa said, I'm short too, but I'm smart enough to not jump over a fence with power. I mean, it was so funny to me because that was literally like what was going through. And it was so funny because Blaze at that time was still very much the lazy kid that would take the lazy route on everything. And I looked at him and I was like, that's going to happen to you if you keep it up. Like, I can see that happening to you.
The funniest thing ever, I thought, or the funniest thing ever, it was even kind of, it was basically just karma, is what it was. Is that it has to deal with Blaze. He instead of going around to try to figure out how the pigs were outsmarting him with the Gallagher pig netting. We're not Gallagher, but the premier one. This is before we had Gallagher. He would grab another charger and hook it up at the other end. Mm-hmm. And so we had 400 feet of this netting in a big square. And so he would hook up one charger down on this end and then another charger on over here on this end. Mm-hmm. And so he would turn this one off, right? And it would be grounded out somewhere between the other 200 feet to where the other power source was, right? So he would start disconnecting that one side where it wasn't getting any juice because it was grounded out before it got there.
Right.
And then he would get to the side that still had the juice and he would reach down and grab those ends.
The little clips.
Those little clips. And the funniest one I ever seen is that was when we first, when we got that one that you ordered. When it was brand new.
Yeah.
That thing used to put out some juice.
It was pretty good. And I think if we'd have kept up with it, I think it had a warranty on it that we probably could have. But anyway.
He grabbed a hold of that thing and he went out of his little rubber boots. He was scissor kicking in the air, and his back, his shoulders and everything hit before his butt did. And I'm like, and he got up, looked at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, it's completely disconnected. What are you talking about? And Carol looked at him and goes, did you unhook the other one, Bubba? And I'm like, other one? And he was like, oh. And he took off and went down to the other
yeah.
one and turned it off.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
teenagers.
And so that was the one thing we told him. Like it was funny. So, so back to we got a lot of new eggplants. I got a couple new marigolds. They're a little bit different coloring than the other ones. And the thing with marigolds, the reason why I don't have a problem with getting more marigolds is marigolds will attract some of the garden pests to the flowers rather than to your other plants. So they're kind of like a decoy. So it's always nice to have those planted around so that you can...
Have you seen Duncan?
No, not yet. Why?
Well,
I feel like I did see her at the beginning.
Okay, because...
Why?
Well, I'm just wondering because she usually never misses a live stream, and I thought I read somewhere that they were having a big snowstorm up that way.
Maybe.
I'm just a little worried about her.
I don't know. So I did a couple of new types of marigolds just because, I mean, to me they're not the prettiest of flowers, but if I can get some different patterns, then maybe I might. I mean, like, I'm still trying to convince myself that I like them. So I was thinking maybe these two might be something new. They're kind of pretty-ish. So, but I am, my new thing with flowers, I wonder if marigolds will attract goats to keep them off of my veggies. You know, I'm not sure. I don't know what all they attract, but I do know that the yellows and the reds definitely pull, other garden pest bugs away. They're very popular in companion planting because of that. But the one that I really got to get moving on this is poppies. I want to learn how to, or not learn, I just want to put the seed in the ground and hope that they come up. Has anybody in here grown poppies before? I'm wondering if, this says to surface sow them. What? That's a name.
Mm-hmm.
You're a dirty birdie.
What?
Those are really a thing.
What?
They're called double blooming hollyhocks.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Oh, what are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Okay. So, with the poppies, it says to surface sow them, barely covering. The other time that I've seen surface sowing, barely covering, is with carrots. So I think I'm going to sow them the same way that I do carrots, just to see if that works. Let's see. I got my seeds last week. I figure marigolds not being pretty, it doesn't feel so bad when the bugs eat them. Deer do not like marigolds, so I bet goats don't like them either. Okay. I grew poppies, but I lived in California. Terry says she has. Okay. Have grown poppies before, but here we just sprinkle them on the ground. See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I literally just need to sprinkle these on the ground and just walk away, because I really think that's how they're going to grow. I also got some candy cane zinnias. I've not grown zinnias either. So that's another one that I want to try and do. And these just looked really cute. So, what? So I definitely, my goal this year, so everybody has their goals for 2021. One of my garden goals this year was to have fresh flowers on the table for dinner every night. So as we have new flowers come up, cut them and replace them with others. So poppies, he thinks you're advertising. No. No.
That's not it.
No. So, another one that I was really excited about was the candy canes are prolific. Good. Now, don't they reseed themselves, Sydney? Sow them like you would the carrots. I'm growing them here this year. Yeah, I really think that's what I'm going to have to do, is just surface sow them. I got the heavy hitter okra. I am super, 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 super excited about these. I don't know if anybody else has seen those in the catalog, but they're saying that it'll produce like up to 500 pods per plant in a season. So I am...
Aye.
Well, you should be excited about that because you guys eat so much raw okra like that. I'm figuring that's the only way I'm going to keep up with y'all. Like, you're complaining about my eggplant. This is my answer to the eggplant comments, is the heavy hitter okra. So we got some more corn. We're going to do more of the, I believe so, the homeowners after we leave here will have to tell us. That's funny. We bought more popping corn because we absolutely, I think we are hooked on making our own, like growing our own popping corn. Like when we did the blue popping corn, like it was the craziest moment because we're all standing around the pot just waiting for him to pop, and we started hearing it pop, and we're like,
Well, it was almost like the very first time Carol kicked in your belly. We were all sitting around. I think we were watching TV, and the first time Carolyn kicked,
what was that?
Did she just kick?
Yeah.
We were all sitting around that pot, and it went bing, bing.
Misty, crazy. Touch me nots will reseed themselves too. Okay, so also I got soybean. This is a new one. This one is Tankuro, and it says that they're vigorous. They grow, pretty good. But they're just like, so soybeans, you have like green soybeans and then you have black soybeans, and these actually, they're green pods, but then the other ones they're black seeds. So I'm excited about that. You can also pop sweet sorghum seeds like popcorn. I may have to try that too. And then I got a couple of herbs because there were a couple that I don't have. I needed to replace my stevia. I got some yarrow. We've been talking, and there's an herbal study group that Crystal has started from...
Hello, thinking of others.
And
thank you for hitting that like button.
And so yarrow is one that I want to try this year. We did the stevia, and then I got some lemon basil. There's some new peppers that I got. I had to replenish my snow peas. But there's a couple of other things coming that I had to wait for those to be replenished before. One of them is there's a new carrot that they put out this year, and I definitely want to try and grow that. I think those will be here next week. So with all of this garden stuff, we're sitting around, on the TV lately, there has been so much stuff going on. And if you're not careful, you can get pulled into it and feeling down and feeling doom and gloom. And we were sitting around listening, and something out of the corner, I heard something mentioned about the white hot. Oh, I know what it was. We were watching Riding with Cars. Isn't that what it is?
Yes.
Or having coffee.
Comedians in cars.
Yeah, and having coffee or whatever. And Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld, there was one we were watching on Facebook, and it was an interview.
YouTube.
Huh?
We're watching it on YouTube.
What did I say?
Facebook.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant YouTube. I'm sorry. We're watching on YouTube, and it was actually, he got to go to the White House and sit down.
I felt bad for him and President Obama, because here they are. Jerry was able to hook up President Obama's favorite car
ever
of all time.
Uh-huh.
It was a Vet. It was a 68 Stingray, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, it was a Vet. It was in primo.
It was beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
And of course, couldn't put Secret Service in the Vet with him and Jerry. So they literally had to drive in a circle around the one circle spot.
Around the parking
area at the White House. They couldn't go.
Yeah. They weren't allowed to leave the grounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they had to have their coffee in at the White House.
Yeah.
They couldn't leave, And but there was somehow when we were doing that, something caught my attention about gardening.
Well, they were walking through the garden, and
It's
like, I wonder how this didn't get any publicity. Michelle,
and maybe it did. We were talking about this because if you look at the time frame, we had a lot going on in that time frame, and so I feel like maybe it did, and we'll find out right now. People will tell us in a minute.
And because we were poor at that time. We couldn't afford the 2 O's and the R to go with poor, and so we didn't have TV. We didn't have a TV.
Yeah, we didn't have cable, like none of that. So, if what we're getting ready to say, if you knew about it, go ahead and let us know. But we didn't know about it. So
we didn't
anyway,
make it onto the news on the radio.
They were walking through, and one thing we saw was the play yard for the youngest daughter. They still had a play yard up for her, which was really cool. Mm-hmm. And then they walked past the gardens.
And Michelle Obama had a huge
kitchen garden. Huge kitchen garden. Did y'all know about that? Did you know that from the time they came into office, as soon as, because I'm reading, and that's what we're getting ready to go into, I'm reading a book that she wrote about this whole process, and she started thinking about it before they even got into the White House, because they were still in the primaries. And she was sitting, I think she was washing dishes or doing something at her house, and she started thinking about the obesity numbers, which we did know about that, about in children obesity, and she was very passionate about trying to change that. And one thing we did know was that she tried to change the school lunch program for the people that get funded lunches, like for those people to get a more healthy lunch. But what I did not know, so Deanna said, I honestly didn't know much about the White House garden until after their administration. Sydney said they knew about it. Live with Linda said she did know about it. She grew enough food for them to eat off of, and for visitors and staff, like they were picking stuff from the garden all the time to prepare. And I thought that was amazing. And of course, she used it to have, children come in and learn about it and teach, and all of the things that we're so passionate about. Like, I feel like I've been robbed of not knowing about that. So I immediately went in and I went and bought the book. It's called American Grown. And she talks about her passion for it, what she thought about it. It even talks about the history of the different gardens that were in the White House before they got there. And what she had to, there were some of the first ladies, all they wanted to do was grow flowers, the rose garden, poppies, whatever. But she was very passionate about growing food that would promote healthy eating in the family structure. And so I'm super, super, super excited about this book. I've been reading just a little bit here and there so far. And what I'm really getting excited about is she actually has her layouts of what they put in the garden. And I think that's, she's got, here's Summer Garden 2011, and she has a drawing of, what the layouts were, the kind of things that they ate, the recipes. It's a really good book. So I was really dumbfounded by that. I could not believe that we didn't know about that. Now, again, we weren't as much geared towards a kitchen garden anywhere near in that time frame. We'd never really thought about doing a kitchen garden. We'd always wanted row gardens and lasagna gardening.
Well, during the Obama administration, I said before, we were struggling in the beginning of the administration, and then we just kind of, once the wildlife business kind of started picking up, we stayed focused on that, and so it was just hard for us to maintain the homestead and that business, that we weren't watching a lot of TV. If we didn't hear about it on the radio and stuff like that, we didn't we didn't know.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff was never really promoted like on your local radio news station. That didn't really hit the news.
Yeah.
So,
because it's like you heard about her program for school kids and her wanting to fight obesity in public schools, and then it just poof. It was like poof. It just died away.
Yeah. We heard about it. I don't know about in everybody else's area, but in the areas we were at, they were fighting it tooth and nail. Yeah. They did not... And really, it goes back to, let me get on my soapbox for a minute, is we always talk about how much we don't like how things are going right now. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. One of the things I read, somebody said, was if you want things to change, have a kid. If you have a kid, good. You're already halfway there. Teach them the ways that you want the world to be. And if you do that and you focus on that and we focus on it as a community, then when that younger generation grows up, then you'll have made that change. And I feel like this is just a part of that was with the lunch stuff, is that you had parents who were eating fast food, processed food all the time. So getting their children to accept fresh food or fresher food for lunch was an uphill battle because your parents weren't supporting that or promoting it at home.
Also, I think anytime that you try to change anything, it's met with resistance. Big time resistance.
She said even in Scotland. That movement happened here, and parents were bringing their kids bags of chips to the school gate to lunch so they didn't have to eat the healthy food. I mean...
Yeah. And saying that, to me, that is just, I don't know, pathetic. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, Robin and I got hardcore into this lifestyle. One, kind of out of necessity to begin with. But then we started getting educated. We got educated by documentaries like Food Matters, Food Incorporated... Mm-hmm. And...
River of Waste.
I mean, granted, we did come from the preparedness side and started doing that, but, once we got to the point where we realized it wasn't sustainable, that was about the time of the Great Recession, and the bottom started falling out, and we had to live off of the stuff that we did have our preps on hand. And so then we had to start making it to where we could keep this going. And then we learned about how broken our food system is. And then we learned about food deserts. And we learned about all of this stuff that's going on. And how it was cheaper for folks that didn't make a lot of money, like where we were at. And we were seeing it was actually cheaper for us to feed all of us, all 5 of us at the time, McDonald's, than it was for us to be able to go to the grocery store and get the ingredients that we need and go home and cook a healthy meal. Mm-hmm. That's when that was a huge red pill moment for us.
Well, and the other one was at a very small time frame, like 2 or 3 months, when we lost our jobs, we were also on food stamps for that small period of time. And we watched people, because you notice when you have it, you notice other people that have it. And you would notice that people that's all that they would buy was processed stuff that they could throw in a microwave, throw in the oven real quick. And that's just the way it is. And it was, you got more bang for your buck buying the processed stuff, the Pop-Tarts and, the ramen noodles instead of making spaghetti and, throwing in some fresh tomatoes and cheese and, and all that stuff. But it's still, it's still cheaper. In some places, McDonald's always seems like it's always cheap, but I feel like we have learned to really start to grow, and I've seen even in some of our local schools, they're starting to have gardens and greenhouses and things like that. And I'm seeing in the chat people talking about like with the cost. So Trip H said, I agree, it was a good idea, but the way it was done here in our schools went overboard. We had to quit school lunches because Lacey wasn't getting the food she needed. So that was the other thing, is because of how much it cost, the portions, from what I remember, the portions were really small. And
one of the things that really aggravates me, and I can't wrap my brain around this. Not in the least little bit. Except for the fact that there are some churches that feel that this is how I get into heaven, is check this box, check this box, check this box.
Mm-hmm.
2 different churches, one a Methodist church and one a Baptist church. I worked at the Baptist church for a little while doing security. They were a huge church down in Augusta. I mean, their building took up almost a block.
A full city block.
City block.
Yeah.
I mean, their entire property was a full city block, and the building took up 3/4 of it.
Yeah.
But they didn't have apex roof. It was all flat roof. And they would, every Wednesday or Thursday, I can't remember what day it was. I think
Wednesday.
It was Wednesday. They would feed the homeless in the area. And it was costing them money to do this. And so I offered to start putting raised beds on the roof. That way they could grow some of the vegetables. They could pretty much grow the biggest roof that they had. I went home and drew it out. There was enough space up there to put enough raised beds to do square foot companion planting and to have small chicken coops and rabbit hutches up there to be able to keep them shaded, keep them cool, to be able to produce the eggs and the majority of the meat that they would have needed to feed this, and it would have been sustainable. They told me no. Why? Because they were able to do something to keep their 501c3
funding, basically.
Funding by doing it their way. This church right up here at the end of my road flat out has told me no twice. That's just not how they're going to do it. They're just going to keep getting the stuff from the food banks and handing it out.
Eventually that's going to run out. Well,
and look, I get it. It's a path of least resistance. But that's how slaves are made. You're not helping these people at all. You're enabling and you're turning them into making them dependent upon them coming to you once a month to get some more food. Instead of giving these people some freedom and some independence and some knowledge to be sustainable and to have healthy food.
Right.
We partnered one time for a very short amount of time with Icebox Farms down in Augusta. Now they're no longer there. They're over in
Scotland.
They're over in Scotland with you, Cheryl. They got some funding. And they went into a low-income neighborhood in the ghetto.
Right in the middle of urban downtown Augusta.
One of the worst neighborhoods in Augusta.
I used to work on the backside of it, so I know it's bad. It's a bad neighborhood.
They got lucky, and the house that they were able to get used to be a florist. There was even an old greenhouse there.
The structure
was there.
Yeah.
So they went in there and got the funding, went in there and cleaned it all up, got it going.
Well, not just that, Fort Gordon was close by. So they got Fort Gordon involved where they would bring their new troops out.
Yeah, for
volunteer
community service.
Yeah.
They got it all fixed up. Walmart got on board for a little bit and gave them a whole bunch of crock pots. They basically gutted the house and turned it into huge classrooms, huge processing areas.
And a huge kitchen, commercial kitchen.
And they looked at they had a huge open house, and they looked at the neighborhood and said, this is y'all's.
We're going to be out of here in a couple of years.
We're literally going to turn the keys over to y'all in 1 year. In that year's time frame, we want you to come up with your neighborhood watch, your neighborhood program, put somebody in charge. They will get the keys to this house and the greenhouse, and we're going to show y'all how to grow and raise beds. We're going to show you how to do everything. Not only did crime in that neighborhood go to next to nothing, but the children's attendance rate
for school
went through the roof.
Grades.
The grades went through the roof. The neighborhood cleaned itself up. Property values went up. Why? Because the parents they were no longer stressing about, how am I going to feed my kid?
They would come in on a Sunday and like make all of the breakfasts for the kids for the week.
Yeah.
And so then they would have breakfast. They didn't have to be on the free lunch program because they had everything squared away and ready to go.
Yep.
These kids were actually eating a dinner. They weren't just getting garbage from the fast food store, on the way home.
The kids were actually getting 3 good meals a day, not just 2. And even during the summertime and all of that.
And especially during the summertime because it's the biggest season.
It's just amazing that these types of transformations can happen. And I challenge every one of y'all, because Robin and I are getting ready to just say, forget this church up here. We'll find another building to be able to do it. And we're going to, because we were given the curriculum on how to do it and how to set it up. And we're going to go apply for the grants and stuff to try to get it going in some of these neighborhoods around here. We're already kind of have started with the old pastor from this church. He's in Rome, Georgia. And I've been talking with him via Marco Polo and trying to get things set up for him and getting things going. And he's starting to do it in his neighborhood, because I showed him the paperwork. I showed him that, and we went down to Augusta and he saw it. And so it can be done. So we encourage you guys that, when you're saving your seeds this year, at the end of 2021, and you're saving your seeds, look, we all know a watermelon gives off a tremendous amount of seeds. Cantaloupe gives off a tremendous amount of seeds. Tomatoes give off a tremendous amount of squash. Zucchini. And then you talk about loofah. Even okra.
Peppers, okra.
You get one pod. You let one pod dry, that's more than enough seed for yourself and to be able to share.
It really is. Like, if you get a decent size, because the thing with okra is if you let it go to seed, usually it'll grow quite long as well, right? And so, you get a very long pod, and all of those seeds turn into seeds for you to be able to plant the following year. Yeah. So you definitely have enough.
And so we kind of challenge the Big Bear Nation here to, 1, save all your seeds this year. Keep the seeds that you need, and then share them. Find somebody who doesn't have the means to get the seeds. Help somebody. And grab, even if it's just one family, because that's what we may do this year. We're probably just going to find one family, and we're going to teach them. This is how you make a raised bed. This is what you fill it with. This is how you plant it. And help them with pallets and everything where it doesn't cost them anything but their time. Put it in there and give them some of our seed that we have saved, and then encourage that person to then pay it forward. Pass it on. Do the same thing with somebody else.
With all that said, definitely if you're interested in our email list, definitely make sure that you're a part of that, because we are getting ready to go through some of our seeds and stuff that we have extras of, or that we don't see that we'll be able to grow because we're focusing more on this or that, I think we're going to put together...
Just ignore him.
We're going to put together a small seed packet of different seeds, and we will be doing a giveaway for that. So definitely...
Ignore him.
We can... we'll put that email out. And so everybody, this, over the next day or so, go ahead and shoot us that email. I will update everything. And then I'll send out a test email maybe like tomorrow or Monday. And we will make sure everybody got everything. And then we will, we'll do a giveaway where we give away some seed. So... we have a seed box at the end of our driveway for our neighborhood to get if they need them. That's cool.
It'll be a lot of loofah seeds.
They already have loofah. And that one takes a long time. They're not going to be able to grow those. They're not going to be able to grow much of anything until they get settled where they're going to be.
That's all we need to send Sydney. It's just loofah seeds.
Homestead in the Highlands said, saw a TV program about a woman in a bad area. She thinks it was Detroit, who set up raised beds in a long strip of wasteland. Rival gangs started having gardening and growing competitions. Didn't that happen in California somewhere, too?
I don't know, but I just had a wonderful idea for Sid. I'm going to get those little envelope packets, and I'm just going to label it different vegetables.
And that's all going to be loofah?
It's all going to be loofah seed.
I won't let you do that to Tori. It's not fair.
I would let Tori know.
I mean, he would figure it out. He's not, he knows. I spread some marigolds around a family farm last year. I think they're going to love it for 2021. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. How long can you store heirloom seeds?
As long as you keep them dry and out of the sun.
Yeah.
Look, they've pulled seeds out of the pyramids and planted them, and they germinated.
Well, we had a friend, Chris, right? Didn't Chris pull some out of his grandfather's something or other?
Yeah, up underneath the shed floor. Mm-hmm. He had them in mason jars.
Yeah, and should you vacuum seal heirloom seeds? I don't know that that's necessary. I think that...
Like she was, like Robin was saying, one of our friends, single dad Homestead, Chris, they went to his granddaddy's place and they were tearing apart a shed or an old barn or something. And they come across a loose board in the floor and found jars upon jars of seeds inside the mason jars.
They were just in mason jars.
Just in mason jars.
They were below the floorboard in the house, so... Yeah.
And so, Chris pulled them out, started planting them. A bunch of them germinated.
Yeah.
And then he learned that there was different tomatoes and different squashes, I think, and there were some peppers and...
Now, there's one thing to be said, though, about doing your seeds each year. Wanting to, for instance, these heavy hitters that we grow this year... definitely wanting to save those seeds and then to, see what they do the following year. And the thing is that as they acclimate to your area and you select the most productive plant to be able to get those seeds, over time you're going to be, developing a quality of seed that grows in your area, that likes your soil. So while you're saying, store your seed, you kind of want to be, redoing those every couple of years anyways, just to kind of, no different than when you're canning stuff, you want to keep kind of rotating so that you don't have something that sits. And that's part of the reason why we're going to do this giveaway, is that I have so many seeds that I am not going to be able to plant them all. And so rather than just have them sitting around not doing anything, I would much rather give those to somebody who could use them.
A lot of y'all are asking how Chris is doing. It's been since before Christmas, I think, that I talked to him. They were doing great. Super busy up there on his little homestead. I think he got that expansion room done, and what he calls the Big Bear Cabin. It's for Robin and I for when we go up there and stay, which we'll probably be heading up there for a weekend here pretty soon when a lot of the COVID stuff starts to die down. He's very protective of that little princess of his. And
his parents are older.
Little bit comes first, and so he's not taking any risks, and the chances of him catching a vid up there on that mountain are very low, and so he stays up there and they live their life. So,
Dee said, Lord, I hate to think about what we could find in the basement and canning room of grandparents' house in Kentucky. And she said, Crystal said, treasure. That and stuff that makes you scratch your head. They were borderline hoarders. So, yeah. So, anyway. Okay, so Trip H said they're good. Talked to him the other day. His phone and computer have been down. Yes, I did know that. His laptop went first, I think, and then his phone.
Then his phone went because I think I called him, and he's like, I'm so thankful. I'm so glad that you called, brother. Because I lost your number because his phone did like mine. It didn't transfer. Didn't transfer over. So, just like, I don't know if any of y'all are J0 fans, but I have talked to him, and he's doing a lot better now, and and I think he actually went live.
He did right around New Year's, I think, or Christmas. Yeah.
So those are just two good old boys that are living in the hills, and they're just living their life. They're doing what they're doing, and keeping it real, and they're just gonna wait it out. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pretty close to that same scenario.
Just not in the hills.
Just not in the hills. If I had my way, we would be right next to Chris.
Yeah. So anyway. All right, so it has been an hour and a half, y'all.
Yeah.
We
Thank you guys
y'all
for
sitting with us and
coming and hanging out with us, and congratulations, April. On your win of the catalog. Just tell me what you think of it. It's not like I'm ever going to get to see the catalog. And
I'll let you look at the free one. Did you seriously throw your ring in my hair?
Yep.
Where'd it go?
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, I'll just hold these as hostage then.
It's okay. You won't eat.
Oh, I'll eat. My daughters will feed me.
What are you going to have them feed you if I'm not growing it?
Like, you're the only one that can put a seed in the ground.
I didn't say you couldn't, but you're not touching those.
Amen. KJ
brought us. Very cool.
All right. True. So, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. Don't forget to check out the Big Bear Nation on Facebook. Make sure you answer the questions, or my people are not going to let you in there. You have to answer them all. Scroll down. There's one about the rules. If you didn't see the one about the rules, keep scrolling. And we will see you guys next week. Don't forget the challenge. So from Robin and I, we remind you to plant smiles.
Grow giggles.
And harvest the love, baby. Yeah. Recycle, reuse, repurpose. Keep stuff out of the landfill. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye, y'all.
God bless.
Good night.